The first phone call by an Aborigine. Australia, 1975. Corporal Shoichi Yokoi hid in the jungles of Guam after Japan's surrender in 1945 and lived there for 28 years. He was found by shrimp fishermen in 1972. His first words upon returning, "It is with much embarrassment that I return alive." Peaky Blinders, members of the gang that terrorized Birmingham in 1903. Artist Marc Monnier draws during the Persian Gulf War, 1991, Kuwait. A cigarette holder for nudists, England, 1938. In 1920, ideas of healthy habits were a bit different. Here, athletes casually share cigarettes during a Tour de France bike race. Days after the coup led by Augusto Pinochet in Chile, with U.S. support, there was a mass burning of Marxist books. Santiago, 1973. Service at the Track restaurant in Los Angeles, 1950s. Food was delivered directly to cars via a conveyor belt. American women donate nylon stockings to the Army, light, durable, and thick. They were ideal for use as powder bags for artillery, USA, 1944. Fijian chief Udra Udre, the most gluttonous cannibal in the world. He ate nothing but human flesh and consumed no fewer than 900 people throughout his life. The head of an extinct dodo bird, kept in the Ashmolean Museum in Oxford. This is the only preserved head of the extinct animal. In Congo, Belgians cut off the hands of children and women as punishment for poorly performed rubber collection work, late 19th century. During the bombing of Yugoslavia, 1999. At 13, Louis Vuitton left his native village and walked to Paris in search of a better life. His journey, over 450 kilometers, was made on foot and alone after his stepfather kicked him out. A photo of two NASA engineers inside a hangar the size of a 10-story building where blocks with flaps guide the air around the aerodynamic tube at the Ames Research Center, 1960. On October 22, 1895, a train running at full speed to make up for its delay failed to brake in time. It crossed the Montparnasse station, broke through the facade, and went 10 meters beyond. Trainer Yuri Kuklichov losing a chess game to his cat, 1980s. Christmas packages destined for soldiers who have been killed or are missing in action await return to sender stamps in New York, 1944. A Canadian soldier says goodbye to his daughter before heading to war, World War I, 1914. Lady Driver, 1902. A woman mourns the tragedy of July 3rd, 1988, when the U.S. Navy shot down an Iranian passenger plane with 290 civilians, including 66 children. Canadian hockey team, 1922. One of many variants of Vietnamese combat traps. When an American soldier fell into such a pit, his own weight would turn him into mince. Coal delivery to the 5th floor, France, 1917. Residents of a Lithuanian village greeting a column of German tanks, 1941. Police versus LGBT March Participants USA, 1970. U.S. Air Force planes fly over burning Kuwaiti oil wells, 1991. In 1950, the Guinness Book of Records named Klaus from San Francisco the fattest cat. At 8 years old, he weighed 40 pounds and had a 36-inch waist. Victorian women who never cut their hair, 1885. What do you think of this traditional decoration for Mersey women? Plates that stretch the lips. 1945, France. A French woman is publicly shamed and has her head shaved for having a relationship with a German soldier. A captured German soldier in front of the burning Reichstag. Military leader Geronimo of the Chiricahua Apache, right, who led the fight against the U.S. invasion of his tribe's land for 25 years. In 1886, he was forced to surrender to the U.S. Army. Newspaper headlines read on a train to Stamford, Connecticut, the day after John F. Kennedy's assassination, November 23, 1963. Nurses carry children during gas mask drills, London Hospital, 1940. Rally for abortion legalization, Italy, 1975. An emotional girl holds a bundle of grass where Ringo Starr once walked at Los Angeles Airport, USA, 1964. A 1855 advertisement inviting wealthy individuals to a slave auction. A working woman from a textile plant confronts police during a labor dispute over the closure of the factory, Spain, 1986. German automobile with a spring steel tire, used due to the rubber shortage during World War I, 1917. Bob Marley, accused of marijuana possession on his way to court, London, 1977. A police officer on a Harley with an old-fashioned mobile pre-arrest camera, 1921. The director of the Belgrade Zoo persuades a runaway chimpanzee named Sammy to return to the zoo, 1988. Playing tennis on the wing of a flying airplane, USA, 1925. In 1904, Ota Benga was kidnapped from Congo and taken to the USA, where he was displayed in a human zoo. Berlin, May, 1945. A frenzied elderly woman wanders the street amidst deadly combat. Photo from the German archive. The office of a slave trader in Atlanta, USA, 1864. Survivors from the British steamship Titanic disembarking onto the Carpathia, 1912. In 2007, the gorilla Senkwekwe and several others fell victim to the conflict in Virunga National Park, Africa. As a result, authorities enacted stricter laws to protect the park's remaining gorilla population. In 1947 in New York, the body of Homer Collier, who had starved to death, was found in an apartment blocked by 100 tons of junk, underneath which his paralyzed brother was also discovered. Children protest against daylight saving time. It's unfair. They could have played for another hour. New York, USA, 1939. A police officer stands next to a member of the Black Legion, an underground group that split from the Ku Klux Klan. Members of the organization practiced ritualistic killings. Germany wins on all fronts. Inscription on the Eiffel Tower during the occupation. Soviet and Polish troops liberate prisoners from the Sachsenhausen concentration camp. Germany, 1945. Love is stronger than all prejudices. Ons van Dijk before the special court in Amsterdam, February 1947, Dutch collaborator who handed Jews over to the Nazis during World War II. She was the only woman in the Netherlands sentenced to death for collaborating with the occupiers. Giant manta ray caught off the coast of Karachi, India, 1933. These sea creatures can reach 9 meters in width and weigh up to 3 tons. On Christmas 1914, during World War I, German and British soldiers on the front line held an unscheduled truce. They sang Christmas carols, exchanged gifts sent from home, and played football. In the following years of the war, such truces could not be arranged again. A mother shows a photograph of her son to a returning prisoner of war trying to find him. Austria, 1947. A mannequin head made from soap, toilet paper, and real hair, used by John Anglin to escape from Alcatraz Prison, USA, 1962. In 1998, a bridge was built over the Choluteca River in Honduras, but Hurricane Mitch shifted the river's course. At the 1920 Olympics, Teresa Velde became the first woman to perform a Salchow jump, but judges disapproved. Geisha Delivery Service, Japan, 1901. Winston Churchill in Boer War captivity, standing on the right. South African Republic, 1899. The early 1920s saw the peak of sexual liberation and freedom. Numerous unions and organizations began to emerge, promoting a new cultural value, the cult of the nude body. A vending machine for fishing worms, USA, 1965. Survivors, a 7760, a 7761, a 7762. This is how the Nazis designated 3 sisters when they brought them to Auschwitz in 1944. A couple shows their newborn children to their grandparents across the Berlin Wall, 1961. Harold Gillies is rightly called the father of modern plastic surgery. Thanks to his method of skin grafting, soldiers disfigured during World War I were given a chance at a new life. In the Qing dynasty, Chinese women cultivated long fingernails as a symbol of wealth and leisure. Breaking a nail was regarded as a genuine tragedy. Women cooking in a half-destroyed oven. Belarus, World War II, 1942. The first public striptease, held on Wall Street, scandalized the public. It would soon catch on across the globe. Heads of 7 major U.S. tobacco companies testify under oath that nicotine is not addictive. 1994. Ray Park getting into character on the set of Star Wars, The Phantom Menace, 1999. Trump is a chump. An anti-Trump rally by the Nation of Islam in front of Trump Towers in 1988. The Nushu alphabet, invented by women in a province of southern China for communication among themselves, as they were denied access even to primary education. It was used until 1912. Slave market, USA, 1864. It was only after the Civil War and the ratification of the 13th Amendment to the Constitution that slavery was abolished in the country. Hillary Clinton listens as her husband denies his affair with Monica Lewinsky, 1998. The opening of the fountains in Peterhof, 1983. Crew members of the American B-29 bomber, Enola Gay. This is the bomber that dropped the atomic bomb on Hiroshima in 1945. In 1910, safe razor inventor King Camp Gillette offered former U.S. President Theodore Roosevelt a large sum of money to head his corporation in Arizona. Roosevelt declined, saying he didn't trust someone who made razors and wore a mustache. Cleo Wright's jail photo from 1940. 2 years later, he was lynched. A white mob dragged him from his cell and burned him alive for the attempted rape of a woman and the murder of a police officer. Protesters demand that President Truman take action against the execution of people, USA, 1946. A priest holds a service for dozens of Titanic victims before burial at sea, 1912. Fans waiting for a Beatles concert, 1964. 66 years later, this soldier's granddaughter found this photo and was horrified to discover that her grandfather was a fascist who served in a detachment involved in mass killings. A Christmas gift giver, traffic controller, Barcelona, 1970. The tradition of giving gifts to traffic controllers during Christmas was widespread throughout Europe, especially loved and followed in Spain. In 1974, Pharaoh Rameses II was issued a real Egyptian passport so that his 3,000-year-old mummy could be legally transported to Paris for restoration. Japanese burying Chinese POWs alive, Second Sino-Japanese War, 1937. The Spanish flu killed more people than World War I. The 1960s became the era of the mini skirt. However, women had to fight for the right to wear them. German soldiers testing the strength of the gallows before executing suspected Soviet partisans, 1941. Puffy the cat, believed to have hypnotized over 300 people with her huge, unblinking eyes, 1944. Before anesthesia, speed was very important in performing surgeries to minimize the patient's pain. Robert Liston was considered the fastest surgeon of his time. Once, Liston amputated a patient's leg in 28 seconds, accidentally cutting off his assistant's fingers. Both the patient and the assistant died from sepsis, and one witness to the operation died from shock, making this the deadliest surgery in history. London after a bombing, 1940. A doctor examines a Buchenwald prisoner, 1945. An Iraqi man celebrates on top of a burning American Army Hummer in northern Baghdad, Iraq, 2004. A German motorcyclist on Russian roads, 1941. Children in bomb shield hats, headphones and protection from biting their tongues, Sydney, 1942. View of the epicenter of a nuclear explosion 2 seconds after the blast, Kazakhstan, 1949. Thank you for watching this video until the end. I hope these photos impressed you. Some may have made you angry, brought a smile, made you happy, or perhaps even caused some negativity. Feel free to leave your comments and stay tuned for the next part. Don't forget to subscribe and like the video. Bye.